good afternoon, good evening. Buenos dias. I don't know if y'all can hear the noise in the background. It's something that we're all completely powerless over. So, if you can hear it, it will be over soon. Hi, Bev. Welcome, Andrea from Sweden, Amy, Wendy. Great question, Andrea. If you would like your own personal reading, you can book that one-on-one with me separately. This live session today is for a collective reading, as it says in the title and description. So stick around because the collective reading is always powerful. So if you're here, you're meant to be here, and the message will be for you. Welcome, J.E. Excuse me. I'm glad to be here with you all. So usually we meet Sunday mornings in the Western Hemisphere. And I have plans in the morning, so we are here now. And if you are new, as Andrea said, anybody else, feel free to say hello. I'm Natalie, spiritual life coach, Reiki Master Teacher, and intuitive. Welcome, Tolkien. Welcome back. So the topic I was even thinking about, because it's alive in me right now, is this idea about surrender and allowing. And so, of course, the universe is presenting something right now in real time to allow and surrender to, which is the very loud leaf blower across the street. So it seems like nobody else can hear it, so that's great. Excuse me. Good morning, Andrea. So I'm joining you live here in Mexico. I've got my card decks here, and very excited as always to dive into our longest running live stream series here for me and Insight Timer, over 4 years. I've been live and doing this particular live stream probably almost coming up on 4 years. So welcome, Amelie. Great, Bev. So it seems like it stopped. And you know what it reminds me of is, like, I know even right now that the noise has stopped. It helps me to appreciate the quiet even more. It helps me to hear the bird song even more. If the loud noise hadn't have been here, I may have, I wouldn't have noticed the silence as much. So let's breathe in. So everybody that's here now, I'd like for you to comment in the chat if you like one word or one phrase of what is alive in you right now. What is alive in you right now? What is alive in me right now is expansionness. Expansionness, that's not a word. Expansiveness, light, possibility. Wonderful words that everyone's bringing in. Hi, Lavender, resilience. Bev, gratitude. Hi, Suzanne, hope. Friendly pause. Hello, Amy, growth. Wendy, surrender. Hi, Sandy, curiosity. Amelie, creativity. Lavender, great. Andrea, love. So speaking that into our shared space together, and just invite you to take a conscious breath into those energies and just feel them expand 2% more, 5% more. Feel into the center of the chest and just release any effort, release any expectation or any any constriction, any resistance on the out breath. And maybe some of you might get to release something physical that feels restrictive. So the format for today, for those who are new or if you haven't been in a while, is we will dive into the spirit messages that come through. I will use cards. I have many different decks that I like to use. This will be a deep channeled message for everyone here. And because it's collective, if something doesn't fit, don't force it. And then we will close with Reiki and Ancestral Clearing. I do offer these as one-on-one services, and my passion is to work one-on-one with people in getting unstuck in their lives, stepping into possibility, navigating the relationship with themselves so that there's more self-compassion, more love, more ease and grace in order to create the outer results that my clients want in their lives. And I do that through powerful conversations and spiritual life coaching. So follow me here. If you'd like, give a donation, and you can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, my website. All the links are here in my teacher profile. And I am streaming this session live also on YouTube, my channel there. So if you have to leave or if you want to revisit this or any of my live streams for the past few years, they are all there in my channel. So, and because it came up last week in the live stream on Monday morning in the Western Hemisphere, I will be talking about my plant medicine journey. That came up and we talked a bit about it, and it's been 3 years since I have shared that. So if that's interesting to you, if you're considering plant medicine, if you have an interest in whatever way, join that live stream and stay tuned for future live streams that I will schedule. Also, plans are coming together in perfect timing for a retreat here in Mexico. We are looking at October. So if you want to come to Mexico for a handful of days to be with me and fellow Insight Timer teacher Alicia Bliss, we are going to be likely co-leading the retreat. It may be me solo, but I'm pretty sure that with her schedule she'll be able to join and co-facilitate. So it will be right here on the biggest lake in Mexico, surrounded by these mountains you see behind me. And this place has very powerful, tranquil, loving, supportive, nurturing energy. So, yes. And those of you that you've expressed interest, I do know I have a list of people because the retreat was going to be in Bali. There will be a Bali retreat, and it's going to this one will be here. So if you'd like to be notified of the details, send me a private message. Yeah, so Suzanne, the lake is called Lake Chapala. Excuse me. It's near Guadalajara, the second biggest city in Mexico. So what's great about that is it's very easy to travel here. It's, well, depending on where you are in the world. From the U.S., it's very simple. Or from Canada, I think there's even direct flights. You don't even have to go through the U.S. I have clients in Canada that may come. So, the international airport is like 45 minutes from here. So that's nice. You can just land and directly be here. So anyway, reach out if that's interesting. So let's start with Michael Singer and see what he has to say for us today. For those who don't know Michael Singer, he's most known for this book, The Untethered Soul. And, I do live streams where we listen to his talks. We just finished a couple, what I call surrender circles, very powerful. So his message is what I call spiritual tough love. And very simple message from Michael Singer today. You are not your thoughts. You are simply aware of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are simply aware of your thoughts. So I want to open it up to y'all. And no, it's not a right, wrong question, just a curiosity. Is there anybody here that does believe that they are their thoughts? Because that's a very foundational idea that's like foundational to the spiritual journey. So hi Kathy, thank you, glad you're here. And if Kathy or anybody, this will be on my YouTube channel as a recording later. As soon as this finishes, it'll be there, so if you want to rejoin or rewatch. So Sandy doesn't believe they are their thoughts anymore. And I'm the same. I think, we all have that moment of awakening at some point in our journey where we know we aren't our thoughts. And that's a great distinction, J.E., that I'm sure others can relate to. And I always know 100% I'm not my thinking, and there are times where I get sucked into believing it and totally 100% identifying with it. And then that's the moment where I've come out of my awareness, my seat of self, my consciousness, my center, and gotten totally identified with thinking again. And that really is the journey. It starts from there's the only thing that's here is we are our thoughts, and that's it. And then as we start to awaken, that it's like this idea, oh, I'm aware of my thoughts. I am not my thinking. And then that starts building. And then what happens is there becomes this separation of being the witness and the observer of the mind and the thinking. And even we could say the body, felt sensations, emotions. And it's really about establishing this seat of consciousness, the seat of awareness, the seat of self. We could call it the I am presence, the big I. The little I is the ego and the thoughts. The big I is the the one consciousness that we all share. And so really that's the journey in the simplest sense, is of, over and over and over again. This is what we do in meditation. And it doesn't just have to be in meditation. So, are you asking that question, Amelie? How to speak kinder? Or are you giving it as an idea? I'm going to draw Work Your Light card next. See what that has to say. And in the topic of speaking kinder to ourselves, I've recently created a really powerful resource I've shared with many of you and my clients in my newsletter, called The End of Self-Gaslighting, which is all about waking up from the dream of making ourselves wrong constantly, which is, that was for me earlier in the year another level of identification that I didn't know was occurring. So it's been really powerful to wake up to that. I was just on a call with a client yesterday, and we were talking about, I brought in this idea of this spiral of evolution. And it's like we might feel like we're at the same place, but we can't ever go back to how we were before. It might feel like we're there again, but we're not the same person. We have evolved, and now there's a little bit more consciousness, a little bit more awareness, a little bit more presence, a little bit more self-compassion and self-love. And that's the journey. And sometimes people will jump, they'll have a profound spiritual experience that's permanent, what they call abiding awareness, where it's continual, it's permanent, it's a permanent awakening. And for most of us, it's non-abiding, which means we go in and out of it. That's a great point, Sandy. Most of the thoughts that we think are not ours. They're programming and they're conditioning from other people that came from childhood, and our caregivers' thoughts came from their childhood, and on and on and on. So we're here to break those cycles, generational, ancestral. Yeah. So that's good to notice. We really don't have many original thoughts. Okay, so Work Your Light says the great gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. The great gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits and soul tribe. So we have a soul tribe here in Insight Timer. It's how wonderful that we have this resource, how wonderful that we have technology and we have applications that we can utilize 24/7 that are filled with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of meditations and people and teachers and live streams and courses and the community that's here, so this is definitely a soul tribe. And then we can create our own in many different ways and forms. And it is this time of our, humanity's existence, is this awakening process. And those of us that are on this journey I'm talking about, that starts with not like being aware that you're not your thoughts, those of us, we are raising the consciousness of the planet. So remember, it's all coming together. Look for what's working. Look for the transformations. Look for where you are changing. Change starts, one person at a time with ourselves. So now we're going to look at a Sacred Rebels message, the beautiful art on these cards, and then we'll get some clarification with Lightseer's Tarot. trust, relax, allow, surrender, let go. Ooh, I haven't seen this one in a very long time. Heaven sent. Heaven sent. Number 33, that's a master number, life path number. I had an ex-partner that was a 33, and he was definitely that. So even in thinking about the topic that's already coming forth of like our thinking, our thoughts, our identification, our awareness, yeah, this is a beautiful image that's like, okay, we're focusing on the mind, focusing on the internal. So let's see what the guidebook has to say. This, of course, it fits perfectly. You can't make this shit up, as I always say. So this card's theme and message is about spiritual gifts. So receiving spiritual gifts. A spiritual gift is something that happens through grace. I love the topic of grace. Grace is so compelling and interesting to me because it's so really otherworldly and multidimensional. Grace is unpredictable. We can't, there's no metric for predicting grace. It just happens. So it says we can ask for help and it may be given in response to that request. All requests for help are answered. So I want to slow down on that for a minute. You know, if there's somebody here listening who has asked Source for help and feels, you know, there isn't an answer, remember all requests are for help are answered. Now it might not be in the linear way in which your egoic mind makes up. And that's what I say whenever I do my Reiki energy healing and ancestral clearing, like one-on-one sessions, and even here in the group. It's like, yeah, we can ask for healing for, oh, my wrist hurts, and I want my wrist to feel better, and so I want Reiki for that specific thing. So not to say it's not possible, and that's very small way of looking at things. We are multi-dimensional beings living in a timelined and dimensional universe. So to be very two-dimensional about like, this hurts, I want healing, so this pain goes away is very restrictive and just not how the universe works. Not to say it can't happen, but whatever this might represent for somebody, there's more, and we don't know. We don't have all the information. So Bev, you can attest to this. So a spiritual gift can be given without us asking for anything at all, at least not consciously. Sometimes our hearts cry out for help. While we're busy getting on with our to-do lists, we don't often stop to think about what our hearts might need. Can anyone relate to that? If we do, and an immediate solution is not obvious, we just get on with life, either letting the issue be or taking the more painful option of dwelling on it without seeing how it might be resolved. So being in the problem rather than the solution. How many of you can relate to doing that besides me? However, there's a loving benevolence in life that knows exactly what we need and how it can best come to us even when we're not quite so clear. This force actively seeks to assist us in walking our life path. That loving sweetness is being offered to you now, or soon will be, in the form of a spiritual gift that is heaven sent. Your spiritual gift may be symbolic. It may be something that seems ordinary but holds a lot of meaning to you. It might be an object that catches your eye. You might think you're appreciating it, but it's the underlying energy that captures you. So be on the lookout for a gift from Source. A gift is coming to you. And this talk about the multidimensionality, like it might be, you know, like a spiritual gift that's intangible. It might be a download. It might be new information. It might be an intuitive hit or inner guidance that comes from nowhere. Or it might be something tangible. Somebody might gift you something. You might see something on the street. Or maybe you'll open a box after you clean out a closet and think you lost something, and it's something from a lost loved one that you didn't even know you had. Like, it could be anything. So you will be empowered to accomplish tasks that you may have nearly but not quite been able to manage on your own through the bestowal of a spiritual gift. This card brings a message to you. Let yourself be helped. Let yourself be helped. How many of you have a resistance or difficulty or hard time receiving help? So many of us give and give and give and give. Especially if you're intuitive and empathic and come from a background where, you know, maybe in childhood the only way you could feel that you had value was by doing and performing. Or helping. So, yeah, many of you can relate. Hi, Nina, Tina, Sista Sunshine, Suzanne, Bev, and Lisa. So, let yourself be helped. You deserve to be helped. Assistance is coming your way, so act on it and say yes. Trust it. Trust in the things that you feel and say to others without knowing why. It moves them. You might not understand, but through trust, you're allowing yourself not to overthink and censor yourself. And then you become a vessel through which your spiritual gift can be passed on to others. Don't block yourself. Let life happen through you. Only benefit can come from this. Receive the gift that is heading your way. So there's a very short healing process and a statement. So I invite you all, if you'd like to receive, close your eyes and take in these words as a spiritual gift for yourself right now in this moment. Through unconditional love, I now accept the spiritual gifts that are bestowed upon me with complete trust and gratitude. So be it. Through unconditional love, I now accept the spiritual gifts that are bestowed upon me with complete trust and gratitude. So be it. So be watching for a gift. And I feel like, too, it's about our perception. If we are in our mind identified with our thinking, if we're in survival, we may not have, like there might be a gift in front of us that if we're not on the right frequency, we won't even see it. There was something that happened to me in the past week. I think it was something in my outside world. It's like I had seen it a million times, but I'd never seen it. Who all can relate to that? You know, you might walk by the same place 100 times and you never saw, like, for me, there's a lot of murals around here. It might have been something like that. But it's like, wow, I've walked by that a million times. So your spiritual gift that's coming, I mean, you can't miss what's meant for you, and you can raise your vibration. Hi Sheila, welcome. So let's take a deep breath in. Now let's see what Light Seers Tarot has for us. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Great to see you. And as I said before, you know, if anybody needs to leave or missed and wants to revisit, all of my lives are on my YouTube channel. So you can, you know, finish or go back or watch again. And know too that all of the healing that happens in the live streams is transmitted through the recordings as well. They are timeless. Hi Jessica, welcome. Welcome Lotus. Good to see you again. Okay. Thank you. I haven't worn this in a long time. It's a very powerful necklace from Bali that I had made for me. I used to wear it in all my live streams early on. Thank you. So we've got this Knight of Wands energy for you, supporting you. So Wands are energy of passion, creativity. It's fire element, it's masculine energy, it's creativity. And the Knight signifies, this could be a person. I mean, this might, if it's speaking of the spiritual gift, this could be the person bringing you the gift. And it could be just the energy within you that you are stepping into this week of being on fire. You know, for those of you, maybe you have creative projects and you felt stuck, like there'll be new energy, new release, new ideas, forward movement, lots of creativity happening. The thing with this energy is it's not grounded. So you get to make sure that you really be intentional about utilizing this energy, taking it in. And you know, the other thing about this is look at how joyful this person is on this card. Look at, they're just in the moment, they're playing a drum, they're enjoying music. So it's like whatever this is about for you specifically, remember to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, slow down. You know, something I've noticed within myself a lot and more recently is living from a place of urgency. How many of you can relate to that? Like, even if there's nothing urgent, just feeling like, got to get to the next thing, got to hurry up and finish this so I can get to the next. And it's like the quality of life is lower, because then that imbues everything we do with this just doing it to do it and get it done energy, which is, like I said, it's like surface level. So this week I've really been focusing on 5% more, like, or less urgency, more intentionality, more presence. And it's really made a difference, because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And there's always going to be another moment. And it's like, I know all this stuff, but it's, again, like that spiral I was talking about. It's another layer. Sister Sunshine, I live in Mexico, not New Mexico. Yeah, have to do it now. Oh, wonderful, Suzanne. Yeah, so let's see what other clarification Amelie can relate as well. The wheel. So this is a very powerful energy. And it's really a card of good karma and good fortune. So the message that's coming through with this is like, you know, everything we've said, and like, you can't mess up what's meant for you. Like, you can't miss your spiritual gift. What's meant for you, you can't mess it up, you can't get it wrong, and that could be a creative project. Because that's what happens, is there's this energy of grasping of, oh no, what if I mess up? What if I do it wrong? What if I don't take the opportunity that's here right now? Then it'll be gone forever and I won't get it again. Like, if it could be in any area of life. So this is really saying for you to trust whatever this Knight of Wands energy is for you, however that's presenting. And look, we've been talking about the upward spiral. Hi, Carolyn. There's a bug. Oh, a bee. So I love this. Again, you can't make this shit up. The spiral we've been talking about, here it is, the upward spiral. And you're at the top. So it's really coming through strongly. You can't mess up what's meant for you. So release urgency, release fear, release grasping. Bev, karma is just energy. Yes. The short answer is yes. But this is a card of like good fortune, good luck. Look at the dice around their neck. And look at how free they are. Free, full of life. It's like they've conquered the mountain. And in my coaching, I stole this idea from my favorite coach, but he talks about the idea of a mountain with no top as far as the journey of evolution and potential and creation. there's always more to go. And, this looks like there is a summit that has been reached. So I invite you, like wherever you are and whatever is going on, you don't have to wait for the manifestation. You don't have to wait to feel like you've arrived. You can bring in this energy like right now. I mean, just look, it's just like, just relax. Just relax, surrender, trust, allow. It's just really coming through. You can't mess up what's meant for you. And the energy in which you do the thing, if it's the creative project, if it's looking for a new job, if it's crafting your letter of resignation from the job you are letting go of, just releasing the urgency. Yeah, these are beautiful cards. We've got a couple Lisas here. Yeah, reading your comment, Lisa. Appreciate you sharing. Yeah, and I don't know if have you been in here before? I don't recognize your photo, but I am also in AA for a long time, so fellow friend of Bill, and I know many others here are as well. And I think what you're talking about is super common, and we do get to find the right kind of support for us. Sometimes it's therapy, looking back at the past, and my work in helping others is looking at the present and looking at the future. And everything has its place, and we get to discern that, and we get to trust our inner guidance. So let's get okay. Well, at the bottom of the deck we have this beautiful Hierophant. This is one of my favorite images in this beautiful deck. It's like enlightenment moment. I posted in my Instagram story yesterday something about like, spoiler alert, everything ends well so you can stop worrying. I feel like that's what this card is somewhat saying. It's like we're enlightened now. Everything is here now. All of these faces on, all of these cards are just like so light, so free. Freed up in their body. Like, so some of you may get to move your body in a joyful way. And if that feels like super hard because of where you are, that's totally fine. You don't have to go out dancing tonight at midnight for 5 hours. Like, you can just pull up one song and maybe just stand up in your living room and sway. I mean, meet yourself wherever you are. And just know you're going up the ladder of consciousness. You're realizing your full potential. You're stepping into it. And this underneath is a card of balance, temperance. So it's like coming out of extremes. That urgent energy is extreme. And we don't want to go to the other extreme of complete, inaction and like a puddle on the couch, right? We want to have balance. We want to have inspired action. Okay, I'm just going to shuffle more. So in a few minutes, we're going to get into the Reiki, the ancestral clearing. If you haven't already, give me a follow. If you care to give a donation, if this is helpful, you can do so. Follow me everywhere. This is being streamed on YouTube. Follow my Facebook, Instagram, website. Check it out. So we've got the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is about having a shift in perception and a new perspective, right? So because this person is hanging upside down, they are seeing things in a different way, right? So there's two meanings to this card. One is that, seeing things differently, and also it could be feeling stuck or feeling like there's no, not knowing what the next action is, or being in a place of just incubating. But it's different from the Hermit. The Hermit is a card of like going within. Yeah, the energy is different with this Hanged Man. Yeah, so I'm looking at the card and contemplating. I want to read the description of this Hanged Man card. But the biggest message that's coming through for this specific reading for y'all is having a new perspective. And, you know, I told one of my coaching clients yesterday of like, they're dealing with relationship issues, and they were focused on the other person. And I brought them back to like, they don't need to change in order for you to feel better. And that was a shift in perception for them. Lisa, hermited. So you stop playing music with your, and I mean winter, like especially if somebody's in a wintry climate, like it's a natural time to go into hermit mode. So, you know, maybe this is an invitation for you, Lisa, to take a baby step. If you want to play music with your band again, maybe here's your invitation to take the tiniest step towards that. Hi, Carrie Lynn. Great. So this message sounds like it's definitely for you. Let me read the more of the message. On the Light Seers specific website. So I'm going to pull that up. And then we'll get into the Reiki and clearing. We don't see the Hanged Man very often in our readings. So the affirmation, so this is Melanie. Hi, Light Seers Tarot. Oh, wonderful, Suzanne, playing music now. So the affirmation for this card with this deck is, I lean into my world of limitless miracles. I lean into my world of limitless miracles. So could somebody type that in the chat? Or if you want to claim that one for yourself. And if you want the Sacred Rebels thing I read, the guidebook that I read description, if you want this, send me a private message. I'll send you the link. I lean into my world of limitless miracles. So the meaning of this card is surrendering to the will of the cosmos. An intentional pause, reflection, letting go, embracing the new, realigning with your heart and purpose, new wisdom, spiritual teachings, enlightenment, and acceptance. So you can see this beautiful enlightenment here that's happening. Woo! Awesome, Allie, Suzanne, Carolyn. So I really feel this surrendering to the will of the cosmos. That's sort of what we were talking about earlier with this idea of like releasing this urgency that happens, to where we're just surrendering in every moment. We're just letting go. We're taking the action that feels fun, like whatever this is, like have fun. You know, it's blessed, it's good karma. It's, this card is like, it's not about day-to-day energy. This is about big things in your life happening. Big events, big positive events and gifts. I mean, that Heaven Sent card. And then we've got the Hierophant and the Temperance supporting this. More enlightenment with balance. So by fully surrendering and accepting what is, the epiphany of the present brings inner peace. By fully surrendering and accepting what is, the epiphany of the present brings inner peace. So this is a perfect alignment with the message for today. So the message of this card says, flow with it. You are being asked to let go of something that is no longer necessary in your life. Just let it go. The Hanged Man is offering you the chance to look at something from a totally different perspective and to relinquish the need to control the forces around you. This is what we've been saying. This will likely mean an intentional letting go of that thing, that idea, that perspective, that relationship, that career issue that's got you rigidly stationary. You may even need to take a few steps back to course correct as you make space for new perspectives and new insights. It may feel like you are sacrificing one thing to gain another, yet from this new place of seeing, you'll be able to break free from old mental models or programming and tap into a whole new framework from which to interpret the world. Divine wisdom spills forth in moments of deep flow, so lay back, sway rhythmically, and meet your inner patterning. Know that your plan, and indeed the whole dream you are dreaming, may look unfamiliar to you after you shed your need to direct the outcomes. In surrendering to the will of the cosmos, you will realign your life with sacred arrangements that already know which life-altering lesson is the key to your happiness. Do this deep dive for you. Process, meditate, bring your unconscious knowledge to the forefront of your conscious mind. And then here's some questions. What is it that you are grasping too tightly for? Is it a thing, an idea, a belief? Do you surrender to the reality that there's nothing else you can do right now? If you let go of your feelings about a situation, what would you learn? Is there something in your life that has reached the point that the only way to grow is to continue on without it? So this is a really powerful message of letting go. This, may or may not fit for everyone, but there's a definite invitation for those that this resonates with. Spirit is saying there's something for you to let go of here, and it sounds like it's going to be not easy. It might be a belief, it might be a person, it might be a place, it might be an object, it might be a thing. It might be a fantasy. Maybe it's about letting go of what you wanted something to be, because it's not ever going to be that way. Yep. The old self. So, what do you get to let go of? What's no longer serving you? And it's not about don't bring any self-judgment into it or shame, because the mind can go there. Ooh. Sister Sunshine, I feel that for you. And for some of you, it might be a relationship or it might be a concept. It might be some idea you have about yourself where you think, I need to be a certain way. It might be an idea of perfectionism that you get to let go of if only I was like this or that. So it's really about slowing down here. So I did a group coaching program a year ago on the book Overcoming Under-Earning. And it was really profound. And one of the most powerful exercises in that book is writing your letting go list. And it's interesting for me personally because I'm in a coaching school, and that book is part of our curriculum, and so I'm doing the exercises again. And my next exercise is this letting go list. So perfect timing for me personally. Interesting, Bev. So some of you, and I said that earlier, it's for those of us who live in urgency, it's about slowing down, but we also don't want to go to the other extreme of, no movement, no action. So if there's some of you that are more on that side, then it's about taking the smallest baby steps towards, energy, creating energy in your life, taking actions, but very small, like what I like to say, the smallest unit of action. And like I said about dancing, right, from this card. So I'm not saying go out dancing all night. I'm saying put on one song in your living room and, sway to it for 3 minutes. That's a small unit of action. So we're going to go ahead now and get into the Reiki and Ancestral Clearing to close the session. If you haven't already and you care to, give me a follow, join my group here, Natalie's Healing Circle, give a donation if this is helpful for you. Listen to my meditations here on the app. And if you feel called to reach out one-on-one, you can find me here and all the other social places that I am. Okay. So go ahead and close the eyes. Get the body comfortable and relaxed just for a few minutes. We're going to slow down And this is an invitation to be aware of your thoughts and have an internal position of landing in your seat of self. So this is a relaxing back into your seat of awareness. And if you don't know what that is or how to do it, just intuit and feel and trust. And those of you that are practiced in that, just go ahead and slow down into that sense of the I am presence, that eternal part of you that's infinite, eternal light, that is unchangeable and changing forever. And relax into that. And just allow the Reiki energy healing to move in through and around you. If you'd like to receive. Your higher self is drawing that energy in. And just relax. Just tuning into all the energy, all the messages that came through today. The heaven sent, receiving your spiritual gift, being aware of your thinking, letting go, releasing urgency, harnessing your creativity, bringing a sense of lightness, of joy, of presence. Knowing that you're an infinite being. You can't mess up what's meant for you. You can't miss the boat because there's another and another and another and another. It's never ending. You can't get it wrong. You'll never get it done because that's the nature of creation. So enjoy the journey. Lean into the surrender. Lean into any resistance. Relax and release. and let go. Be very gentle, tender with yourself, loving. Breathe in that energy into your body. And just on the exhale, releasing resistance. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes, taking a moment to integrate before re-engaging with the outside world. Thank you all so much for joining today. Be looking for your heaven-sent spiritual gifts. Let go of what you're being called to let go of. Lean into your limitless miracles, I think the affirmation was. You are welcome, Tina, Bev. And for some of you, this, the letting go is going to feel like this. Wonderful. Stephanie, Suzanne, Lisa, Carolyn. A very powerful energy healing at the end. You're welcome, Sista. So some of you will get to walk away from whatever it is that might be painful for you. So, and that's okay. Thank you, Suzanne, for the donation. Lotus, Ali, you're welcome. So come Monday for, if you're interested, if the topic of plant medicine, psychedelic plant medicine journeying is interesting to you, I will share my experience. Yes. Sister Sunshine. And change is also the same way. So if you want to change, if you know you need to change or want to change, people change when it's more painful to stay the same and the change is less painful. So that's what has to occur for whatever the thing is. The pain of staying the same is more painful than the pain of change. That's when somebody will change. Wendy, yes, you've been with me for such a long time. It's wonderful. And yeah, I mean, my story might not be around the plant medicine what you'd expect to hear. So, great, Lisa. Yes, send a message and can definitely connect further. Yeah. So I will see you then, and stay tuned for further live streams. I'm very busy in the beginning of June. I'm going on a trip, and yeah, very busy with my work. So I will schedule lives as, and the weekend one will occur next weekend. The following weekend I'm out of town. So anyway, if you follow me, you'll see. If you join my group, Natalie's Healing Circle, we can communicate in there. That's where I give updates. So, loving all of you. Thank you. And see you all soon.